Hello, my dear students. Today, once again, I am here in front of you with the revision of two chapters. Actually, we had one more poem in our syllabus, the ball poem. That one was included only in this year. But due to this COVID-19 pandemic, the government of Assam has reduced syllabus for HSLC final examination, and they have reduced that poem also, which was included. So the ball poem is not there in the syllabus. That's why I am going to revise two chapters. One is chapter number 7.3, that is Tea from Assam, and another one is the poem, The Tale of Custard the Dragon. So in chapter Tea from Assam, what we got? We got a boy from Assam whose name is Pranjal. He lived in Delhi and studies in a college in Delhi. During summer vacation, he was returning his home, Assam, with one of his friends, Rajveer. Rajveer is from Delhi. He invited Rajveer to visit his home, and Rajveer accepted also. And both of them started their journey. At the very beginning, what we get? We get the train is in station, and when they are in the compartment, one vendor came asking chai garam, chai garam, chai in high pitched voice. That means in loud voice he is asking the passengers whether they need tea or not. Both of them, Pranjal and Rajveer, they ordered 2 cups and they started sipping this steaming hot liquid, that means steaming hot tea. At that moment, they had seen that almost all the passengers in their compartment were sipping tea. Then Rajveer said to Pranjal whether he knows that almost 80 crore cups of tea are drunk in whole world per day. This fact was not known to Rajveer. When he heard that, he said, wow, 80 crore cups, it's a huge number. 80 crore cups of tea are drunk not only in Assam, not only in India, in whole world. This is a fact. How many cups of tea are drunk every day in the whole world? So over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day in the whole world. Then the train started. Pranjal was busy in reading what? Detective books. Rajveer is also an ardent fan of these detective books, but today he is not reading these detective books. He is busy watching outside the train, because it was his first journey towards Assam. He had never gone to Assam. For the first time he is going to Assam. That's why he was busy watching the scenery outside the train. In Delhi, generally we do not find trees. In Delhi town, no, we do not find, Delhi city, we do not find what? Trees, forest, hills, etc. The whole city is full of what? Big buildings, shops, etc., etc. Because of that, he was busy watching the sceneries outside the train. When the train entered Assam, that means from Delhi it had started, and when it started inside the boundary of Assam, then onwards, Rajveer was astonished. Rajveer was surprised to see the acres and acres of tea bushes. Everywhere, both sides of the track, it was tea bushes and tea bushes. And he said that as far as his eye could see, it was only tea bushes and tea bushes. Suddenly he had seen one this factory also, from where this smoke was going out. Chimney was there in this factory, that means an old building. From there, old building, we can say, old house, we can say. From there, smoke was going out. So from there, he understood that it is a factory. Though he was exclaimed to see all those things, but Pranjal was not sharing the excitement. Why? Because Pranjal is a boy from Assam. He was born and brought up in Assam. He was born and brought up in a tea garden, tea estate, as his father is the manager of a tea garden in Upper Assam. Okay, the name of the garden where his father was the manager was Dekiavari Tea Garden. So he was not sharing all those things, all the excitements of Rajveer, because it is known to him. He was born and brought up in a tea estate. So it is nothing for him. It is as simple as any other thing for him. But for Rajveer, it was so nice and so astonishing. In India, no, Assam is famous for what? Tea gardens. So whoever from outside Assam, no, whenever they come to Assam, they ask about tea gardens and they want to see tea gardens. Here in the case, the same thing happened. Rajveer wants to see tea gardens more and more, and he wants to know every facts about these tea gardens. Another thing is what? Almost 70% of the tea produced in whole world has been produced in Assam only. Okay, almost 70% of the tea produced in whole world is produced where? In Assam. This is another fact. Not only in India, 70% of the tea produced in India is from Assam. It is not like that. 70% of the tea produced in whole world is produced from Assam. So that's a fact. And Rajveer was very eager to know every details of the tea gardens. Pranjal was not sharing his excitement. But the facts, those who are known to Rajveer, are not known to Pranjal. Though he was born and brought up in a tea estate, but these facts are not known to him. Why it happens to us also? We are from Assam, so we don't take care of these tea gardens, etc., etc. Sometimes now for picnic or some other reasons we go to tea gardens, we take photographs, etc., etc. But we don't want to know details about tea gardens, about the discovery of tea, invention of tea. We don't want to think all those things because we are from Assam. But everyone who is from outside Assam, they are very much eager to know about tea gardens of Assam. Then Rajveer told Pranjal that Pranjal is unknown about the facts. Then Rajveer told Pranjal that tea was first drunk in China as far back as 2700 BC. That means before the birth of Jesus Christ. How many years? 2700 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, tea was first drunk in China. But now India is famous for tea, and out of whole India, Assam is famous for tea. But at first it was drunk not in India, it was drunk in China. When? 2700 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. And now 2020 means what? 2020 years after the birth of Jesus Christ. Now you think, how many years ago tea was first drunk in China? This is also a fact. But this fact was not known to Pranjal. It was known to whom? It was known to Rajveer. Then one more fact Pranjal said, tea was first drunk in Europe in the 16th century only. Now it is 21st century and tea was first drunk in Europe only in 16th century, but it was first drunk in China 2700 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, but it was drunk in Europe just in 16th century. Now it is what? 21st century, that means 500 years ago. But when tea came to Europe, at that time no, tea was used as what? Medicine, not as beverage. Okay, what is beverage? I told you, beverage is what? Any drink except water, any kind of drink except water. This is what? Beverage. Now we drink tea as beverage. Okay, if we go to someone's house, so we are served what? Tea as beverage. If somebody comes to our house, then we serve tea as beverage, not as what? Medicine. But when it was first drunk in Europe in 16th century, it was used as what? Medicine, not as beverage. Then two more facts Rajveer said. He said what? Nobody knows who when tea was first discovered. So he read a lot about the discovery of tea, he read a lot about the history of tea, but he had not found any concrete answer about the discoverer of tea. That means who had discovered tea. It is not written clearly anywhere in any books. Two legends he got, that means two stories he got about the discovery of tea. Both the stories are funny. One is related to what? India, another one is related to China. So when he said that two legends are there about the discovery of tea, then Pranjal became excited. He doesn't know about these legends. Okay, he is from Assam. He was born and brought up in a tea estate. His father is the manager of a tea garden, but he doesn't know about the discovery of tea, about the legends which are related to the discovery of tea. When Rajveer said that two legends are there regarding the discovery of tea, then Pranjal was excited and he was very eager to know the stories. So one story was related to what? China, another one was related to India. Rajveer first told the story related to China. So he said that the story is like this. There was a Chinese emperor who always used to boil water before drinking it. One day when he was boiling his drinking water, suddenly the twigs, those were burning under the pot. Okay, the leaves of these twigs fell in the water. Twigs, understand, and small branches of the main branches of the tree are twigs. So twigs were burning under the pot and 2 or 3 leaves of these twigs fell into the water that was boiling, and that leaves gave a delicious smell to the water, and then people started drinking it as what? Tea. And people can think that it is popularly known as the tea leaves. The story is up to this. Okay, that means one Chinese emperor who used to boil water before drinking. One day when he was boiling his water, the 2 or 3 leaves from the twigs, those were burning under the pot, fell into the water, and it gave the water a delicious smell, and people started considering this as tea. That means from then onwards people started drinking water using what? The tea leaves. This is the story of China, that means this is the Chinese legend. Now one more legend is there regarding the discovery of tea, and it is related to what? India. Then Pranjal asked Rajveer, you tell me the legend of India. And Rajveer said, it is like this. One ancient Buddhist ascetic, that means one ancient Buddhist monk, his name was what? Bodhidharma. One day when he was in meditation, understand, that means concentration on something, that means when he was in meditation, that means when he was concentrating on something. Meditation, in morning time we meditate during exercise. Meditation is very good for health. So Bodhidharma was meditating. Suddenly what happened? He was feeling sleepy. Drowsiness came and attacked him. So to get rid of this drowsiness, to get rid of this feeling sleepy, what he had done, he had cut off his eyelids. These here, those grow above the eyes. These are what? These are eyebrows. These are eyebrows and these are eyelids. Okay? Bodhidharma cut off his eyelids. Why? Just not to feel sleepy during meditation. So he cut off his eyelids and threw them away. The place where he had thrown these eyelids, there 10 tea plants grew out from that particular area, then from that particular place. And when the leaves of these plants are boiled and drunk, then it vanishes the sleep of everyone. Not only Bodhidharma, it vanishes the sleep of everyone. So this is the Indian legend. Once more I am telling, Indian legend is what? Indian legend is related to a Buddhist monk, ascetic monk. His name was what? Bodhidharma. One day when he was meditating, suddenly he felt what? Sleepy. He felt sleepy and he became angry. And just not to feel sleepy, what he had done, he had cut off his eyelids and threw them away. And the place where he had threw the eyelids, 10 tea plants grew out. And when the leaves of these plants put in water and boiled and drunk, the sleep goes away. Nobody feels sleepy after drinking this kind of drinks. This is the story about the discovery of tea related to India. But those are funny stories. Both of them are funny stories. They do not have any concrete relation with the discovery of tea. But these are mentioned in some of the books. Then they reached what? The Mariani Junction, where Pranjal's parents were waiting for them. Both of them got off the train and they started going towards the house or the bungalow of the manager of Dekhiabari Tea Garden. Who was the manager of Dekhiabari Tea Garden? Pranjal's father. Suddenly, from the main road, his father's car took a sharp turn and they entered into a gravel road. That means it was not a pakka road, it was a road, a metal road. Metaling was done. It was not a pakka road. Then they reached what? Dekhiabari Tea Garden. Both sides of the road are full of what? Tea bushes, and all are equally pruned. That means all are equally cut. That means all the trees were of same size. And there Rajveer had seen what? People are walking. That means ladies are walking, keeping what? Bamboo basket on their back and having what? Apron in the front side. What is apron? Apron is a special kind of cloth which are used above what? Above the uniform to protect that particular person who is using that from insects or from other things. So these tea placards also use plastic aprons. Why? When they will pluck the trees, pluck the leaves of tea plants, then any poisonous insects may bite them on their body. That's why they use what? These plastic aprons. So when they are very near to reach their house, then Pranjal asked Mr. Borua. Mr. Borua was the father of whom? Father of Pranjal. Rajveer asked Mr. Borua, this is the second flush or sprouting period, isn't it, Mr. Borua? Rajveer asked Mr. Borua this time. That means he had seen that tea placards are plucking the tea leaves. So he asked Mr. Borua, this time when we are coming to your house, this is the time, and this is the second sprouting period. That means in a year twice tea leaves are taken out from the plants. And the time when they were going to Dekhiabari Tea Garden, Rajveer asked Mr. Borua, is this the second sprouting period or not? It lasts from May to July and yields the best tea. And one more thing he said, this particular season, no, it lasts from what? May to July, May, June, July. Okay, they came during their summer vacation, so it was June or July. So this sprouting period lasts from May to July, 3 months, May, June, July, and it produces this second period, sprouting period, produces the best kind of tea. Listening to that, Mr. Barua, the manager of Dekebali Tea Garden, and Pranjal's father, he said, "You seem to have done your homework before coming." That means Mr. Barua was impressed, and he had said Rajveer that before coming to Assam, I think you have done your homework about tea. Because of that, you know all these facts. Rajveer replied, "Yes, Mr. Barua, I have done my homework before coming to Assam as much as I could, but during my stay here in Assam with you, I want to know lot more regarding tea." This is all about the chapter, the tea from Assam. I hope once I discussed elaborately, and now I told you in short, now I told you in my language, that means in a manner of telling summary of the chapter. I hope it is clear. Then also, if you face any problem, I will be there for you. Then in second evaluation syllabus, another poem we read. The name of the poem was what? The Tale of Custard the Dragon. So that one also we'll discuss. What is dragon? I told you in my discussion, dragon is a imaginary creature, imaginary animal, and it is related to what? Chinese mythology. That's why Chinese armies are known as what? Dragon army. So it is related to Chinese mythology, and when dragon opens its mouth, it seems that means fire is coming out of its mouth. So in TV serials, in cartoons, we find that dragons are there, and they open their mouth and take out what? Fire. But actually, dragon was existing in the world or not? There is a big confusion regarding that. Generally, we think that, generally we say that it is an imaginary animal or imaginary creature related to Chinese mythology, because in Chinese mythology, dragon is mentioned, and because of that, the present Chinese army is known as what? The Dragon Army. Here in this poem, this is a ballad. Ballad means what? A poem that tells us a story in stanzas. This is ballad, and the poem, The Tale of Custard the Dragon, tells us a story, a whole story, and the whole story is described in stanzas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stanzas are there. Out of these 15, 2 stanzas are repeated. Okay, two stanzas repeatedly written. Why? To maintain the rhyme scheme of the poem, to maintain the rhythm of the poem. Here in this poem, we will find 2-3 words. Those are written in poetic manner. Okay, realio, trulio. Actually, realio was really, trulio was truly. Winda, we will get one more word. Winda is window. So in place of really, in place of truly, it is written what? Realio, trulio, and in place of window, it is written what? Winda. Why? This is accepted in poems. This is accepted in poems to maintain the rhythm of the poem, to maintain the rhyme scheme of the poem. The poet can use these kinds of words. So here in this poem, we are getting a story of a custard, story of a dragon whose name is what? Custard. So here in this story, we get what? There is a little girl. Her name is what? Belinda. She lives in a little white house with her pets. Okay, she had one little cat, one little grey mouse, one what? Yellow dog, and one dragon. And dragon was what kind of dragon it was? It was a cowardly dragon. That means it was so coward. It was not brave. Normally, generally we think that, we see that an animal from whose mouth fire comes out, this animal should not be what? A coward one. But here in this poem, it was showed that the dragon was a coward one. Okay, the name of the kitten was what? Ink. Name of the grey mouse was what? Blink. The name of the yellow dog was what? Mustard. And name of the dragon was what? Custard. Then the specification of custard has been given, how it was looking like. Okay, how special it was and how the dragon was looking like. It was written here, the features of the dragon. What it is said here, you Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth. The teeth of the dragon was big and it was sharp also. Sharp, we understand, it is sharp. That means if it catches anything with its teeth, it will be tear into pieces. So teeth were what? Sharp and big. Spikes on top of him and scales underneath. Spike on top of him, that means on the top of his body spike was there. That means the hair of the body were like spikes. That means they are strong and they were straight like spike. You know, we make design of our hair, spike design. We make our hair straight. No, this is what? Spike. So spike on the top of his body, top of the body of the dragon, and scales underneath. Scales, that means a bony part under the body of reptiles. Okay, why it is given by God? It is given by God. Why? For the reptiles, when they move, they should not get hurt. That's why. So the same thing, the same scale was there underneath. That means at the bottom part of the body of what? Bottom part means what? This is top part and this is bottom part, not the last part. Bottom part, that means underneath of the body of the dragon, scales were there. Mouth of the dragon was like a fireplace and its nose was like chimneys. Okay, chimney, we know chimneys are used in factories and sometimes in our kitchen also we use chimney. Why? To take out the smoke of kitchen or the factories. So the nose were like chimneys, so big they were like pipes, and the toes were like daggers. Daggers are what? Daggers are small swords. Daggers are small swords, or we can say that they are big what? Knives. Okay, knives are straight and sometimes we find daggers, they are in this size. They are in this size. Okay, so big knives we can say, or we can say small swords. So toes of the dragon were what? Like daggers. That means like big knives or like small swords. Then in the next paragraph, what is said here? It is said about the bravery of all who were residing in Belinda's White House. First we said that Belinda was so brave. How much brave she was? She was as brave as a barrel full of bears. Okay, bears are brave animals. When a cage full of bears are there and togetherly, how much braveness all the bears can show, this much braveness was there with whom? With Belinda. Belinda was so brave, even her braveness can be compared with what? A barrel full of bears. Ink and Blink, that means the little kitten and the little grey mouse, they were also so brave. How much brave? They even can chase a lion down the stairs. If sometimes lions come to their house, they can chase the lion down the stairs. That means they can chase a lion away from their house. And Mustard, that means the dog, he was also so brave. How much brave he was? He was as brave as a tiger in a rage. That means rage means what? Angry mode. So when a tiger is in angry mode, how much braveness he possesses, this much brave the Mustard is. That means the dog is. From there we can find that everyone of the house is what? So brave. Not normally brave, they are so brave. But the Custard whom? The dragon. He was not brave. He was just crying for what? A nice safe cage. As he was coward, as he was not a brave animal like other animals of Belinda's house, Belinda used to tickle him. Okay, and she used to tickle him unmercifully. Tickle means what? To touch the body of somebody else which makes him uncomfortable. This is what tickling. So she used to tickle Custard, and she used to tickle him unmercifully. Why? As he is not brave. And all of them, no, Belinda, Ink, Blink, Mustard, they used to make fun of him. They used to laugh at him. Ink, Blink and Mustard, no, they rudely, that means in a bad manner, in a bad voice, they called him what? Percival. But who was Percival? Why they have compared Custard the dragon with Percival? Percival was a knight of King Arthur's court. King Arthur was a famous king of Britain, okay, and Percival was one of his knights, okay. He was so brave, but one day, only one incident, he fled away from the battlefield in fear of his enemy, and this one incident made him famous in history as what? Coward. Similarly, they are calling what? Dragon as Percival, because dragon is actually what? Actually brave. But here the dragon who is there in Belinda's house, he is not brave, he is coward. So they are considering, or they are comparing Custard the dragon with what? Percival. Belinda had one red wagon also. Wagon means what? Carrier. Or or we can say that is something having wheels through which we can carry things from one place to another. So she had a red wagon also. Sitting at the red wagon, all of them used to laugh at Custard the dragon. In various ways, by giggling, by asking his age, in various ways, they used to laugh at him, they used to make fun of him. Suddenly one day what happened? They heard a dangerous sound. Hearing this sound, what Mustard did? Mustard growled. He made a sound. When dogs are in fear, that means when dogs think that means some danger is approaching, they make sound in another way, not the normal way. So this is what? Growling. Then the Mustard growled, and they all looked around. When he growled, all understood that some danger is approaching towards them, so all started looking around. Then Ink made sound. When cats are there in danger, they make sound in another way. Normally they make sound meow, meow, but when they are in danger, they make sound in another way. So in that way, Ink made sound meow. And Belinda said, "Ooh." Belinda is a human being, so she also realized that some danger is approaching. She said, "Ooh." Why? What was the danger? Because they all had seen that there was a pirate climbing in the window. They had seen that a pirate, a dacoit, a robber. Pirates are the dacoits or the robbers of sea. Okay, in earlier time, in ancient times, people used to go to one country to another, having what? Using what? Ships. And businessmen also, merchants also, from one country to another country, taking merchandise on their ship. They used to go from one country to another country, and in between their journey, sometimes these pirates used to attack them. So pirates are robbers of sea. Here they had seen a pirate is climbing towards their window, and because of them, all are afraid of the situation. Belinda so brave, Ink, Blink, they were so brave, Mustard was so brave, but all are afraid of the situation. They had seen a pirate approaching towards or climbing towards their window. How was the pirate? How dangerous was the pirate? Now it is said here. Pirate was so dangerous. He had one pistol in his left hand, another one in his right hand. And in his teeth, he held what? One cutlass bright. Cutlass means what? Sword. So he held in his teeth. That means in this way, he held the cutlass. Cutlass means what? Sword. Bright means what? It was so shiny. That means it was so sharp and it was so bright. And he held this cutlass in his teeth. His beard was black. Beard, we understand this is what? Beard. His beard was black and one leg was wood. and one leg, in place of one leg it was what? Wood. One leg was natural, another leg was what? Wood. That means from there we can understand the pirate was caught somewhere while performing his robbery, and in punishment his one leg was cut, and presently he is using what? Wooden leg in place of that one. In ancient stories, if we see Shakespearean stories or Arabian Night stories, we will find that the dacoits are like this. Their one leg is made of wood, and they have covered one eye with with cloths just to make them what? Dangerous. So here also the pirate was so dangerous, he had kept two pistols in two hands, he had held one cutlass in his teeth, and his beard was black, and one of his leg was what? Made of what? Wood. From his appearance and from his weapons, it was clear that his intention was not good. He is coming to attack the house of whom? House of Belinda, White House. Seeing him, Belinda paled. That means Belinda became colorless. That means her face became pale. The color of her face became pale. That means she became colorless. She went colorless, and she started crying what? Help, help. She was so brave. She was, how much brave she was? She was as brave as a barrel full of bears. But now, seeing a pirate only, she started crying, help, help, help. Seeing him, Mustard fled with a terrified yell. Seeing him, what did Mustard do? Mustard fled from the place. Mustard the dog, he fled from the place, making what? A explosive sound. He fled away from the place. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household. And Ink the kitten, that means small cat, what he had done? He somehow entered under the bottom of the household things. And Little Mouse blinked strategically mousehold. And strategically, mouse, they are very, that means strategic. So strategically he had made one mouse hole in the house. It was his plan that if sometimes or in some days, if some danger comes, then I'll enter into this mouse hole. So it was his strategy. So strategically, when the pirate entered the house, he mouse holed. Okay, that means he entered into his hole. All brave creatures, all brave animals, they had protected themselves. Only Belinda, she was crying, asking what? Help from her brave pets. When everyone was protecting themselves only, no one was coming to help Belinda, or no one was coming to help each other, then what happened? But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine. Then what happened? Custard, the coward dragon, he jumped up. Okay? How? He made sound like what? Engines. Dangerous sound he made, and he jumped up from his place. Clashed his tails like irons in dungeon. Okay, he clashed his tails on walls like what? Irons in dungeons. Dungeons means what? The iron cells in the underground buildings in ancient times. In kings used to make underground cells for prisoners. Okay, underground iron cells, and there are no doors. Doors were also of what? Iron. When doors are closed, dangerous sound comes out. So the way the doors of dungeons were clashed with each other, the same way the Custard clashed his tail with the wall. With a clatter and clank and juggling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. He made some materialistic sound, clattering sound, clanking sound, and jangling squirm. Jangling squirm means what? That means like squirm, he made his body bent. Okay, he is straight, he is long, so he made dangerous kinds of materialistic sound, clanking sound, clattering sound. Then he made his body bent like squirm. Jangling squirm means what? He made his body bent. He went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. Then he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. Robin is a very fast moving bird. Okay, why it is said here? How robin from sky, when if he sees a prey for him, Prey, if he sees any insect on the ground as his prey, he can come down to the earth so quickly and catch the insect. the way or in the speed the robin comes to his prey, the same way Custard the dragon came to the pirate. Pirate gave at Belinda's dragon. Seeing the action of the dragon, Custard the dragon, the pirate was gaping towards him. Okay, pirate was wondered. Okay, he was just looking at the Custard the dragon. Okay, he was just staring at him, because either he has no knowledge about what the Custard who was there at the house, or he had heard that the Custard is a coward one, but coming here he had found that Custard is coming to attack him. That's why he was just staring at the action of the dragon, and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. Then what he had done? He drank. Gulped means what? Drunk. He drank some grog. Grog means what? Special kind of wine. Generally is drunk by whom? The sailors. And flagon means what? A container. Those generally what? The sailors keep in their pockets, and these are generally these are made of what? Silver. So silvery what? Container was there in his pocket. He has taken out the flagon from his pocket. That means from this container he has taken out from his pocket, and from this flagon he had taken some grogs. That means some special kind of wines. Those are drunk by whom? Those are drunk by the sailors. So he had drunk those. Why? To get some strength in his body. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit. He fired 2 bullets also, but these bullets didn't hit the body of the dragon, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Then what happened? Custard came near to him and gobbled him every bit. That means he had killed him. He ate him fully. Nothing was left. Then when he had killed the pirate, everyone started praising him. Belinda came near to him and started embracing. Earlier she used to what? She used to tickle him. Now today what she is doing? She is embracing the dragon. She is embracing the dragon. She is hugging the dragon. All other animals, that means Ink, Blink and Mustard, all of them were happy, and they were not thinking about the pirate. Pirate was dead. They were not mourning for the pirate. All of them were celebrating the victory of whom? Victory of Custard the dragon. Suddenly Mustard started speaking. He said that I was a bit confused. I would have been twice as brave if I had not been flustered. Flustered means what? Confused. He is saying that if he was not confused, he would have been twice as brave as he is. That means how much brave he is? He is as brave as a tiger in rage. He is saying that if he was not confused, he would have been twice as brave he generally is. Then up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. Both Ink and Blink, they also started speaking. Both of them said, yes, we were also confused. If we were not confused, we would have been thrice as brave as we think ourselves are. Custard, so down to earth animal. Okay, Custard the dragon, he was so down to earth. He was not listening to anybody. He was accepting. Okay, he said, yes, everyone except me in the house are braver than me. I am not as brave as you. All of you are braver than me. Then the first stanza of the poem once again repeated here, adding one more word only, still. That means still Belinda is living in her White House, having what? Ink, Blink, Mustard, Custard the dragon, and the red wagon. And once more, the fourth stanza has been repeated. Belinda is as brave. How much brave they are. But still, it is said that Custard cries for nice safe cage. Okay, Custard is not showing his bravery, though he had killed the pirate, though he had saved everyone of the house, but he is not showing his bravery. He is still crying for his nice safe cage. So this is all about the poem. What is the moral of the poem? What is the lesson that is given by the poem? The lesson is what? Empty vessel, and empty vessels sound much. Okay, empty vessels sound much. That means those are empty. Those vessels are empty. If we hit them, much sound, louder sound will come out. If a full vessel, if we hit a small vessel, that means a small sound, a swift sound will come out. Similarly, here also, those were empty. That means Belinda, Ink, Blink, Mustard, they were empty, they were not brave. That's why they were sounding much. They were showing that we are brave, we are brave, we are brave. But actually they are not brave. They were empty vessels. That's why they were sounding much. And Castor the dragon, he was not empty. He was a vessel full of water or something else. That's why he was not making sound. He was making just a small sound. He was not making loud sound. So this is the moral of the story. This is the moral of the story, that empty vessels sound much. So from here we understood that the real brave ones, they do not show their bravery, and those who are not brave, they show their bravery. The real clever one, he doesn't go saying that I am clever, but those who are not clever, they just want to advertise that they are clever. Okay, and those who advertise themselves, those who drum their own beats, they are actually not clever or brave. But those who do not drum their own beats, they do not say that I am brave or I am clever. They are actually the brave ones. From the story, it is told that we should recognize or we should identify real braves and real clever and real cowards from their activities, not from their words. With that, the story is over, and I hope that you have understood. This is the revision of the chapter. This is the revision of the poem. We had once read the poem. Okay, and then today I revised both the chapters. Those are there in your second evaluation syllabus. If you face any problem, I hope there will be no problem, because we discussed both the chapters twice. Then also, if you face any problem, any sort of problem, you feel free to contact me. I will be there to help you. With that, I am going to conclude my class. Thank you once again.